He would have decreased in value as well for those who didn't have him for a while. I guess he would have decreased in value, whilst he weren't doing it. So it's not a bad move, in terms of their running for the next few games. It's not a bad shout. Fernandes, your boy Bruno is the top transfer in though. Once again, he just keeps doing it.
He does keep doing it, and I heard last week you lot all telling me how I bigged him up and called it, and everyone in the league had him except for me, because I was busy in quarantine dreaming of an 8-0 Man United win against City. We did a 2-0. I'll take that. Yeah, the reason, mate, that I steered clear is just because I don't think he's the right player to get, but I just felt the next two games for United, City and then Spurs. Incidentally, Spurs look absolutely awful. They won the Champions League game tonight. They've just been smashed 3-0. Didn't even look like they were in it. They have got a lot of injuries. Steven Bergwijn's out as well. So I can see why Fernandes is the most transferred in player, and he could well be worth a look at with United in form. The only thing I'm concerned about is that trip to Spurs. They're not great, Spurs, I just mentioned, but isn't it like the United curse? We do well and then we let ourselves down. We were lucky against Everton, I tell you. Yeah.
You were, but still Fernandes, even the games you have let's say, play poorly, especially in the second half, he still looks like a live wire. So I would still bank on him. Even against the tougher teams. I think he could do it. He's really made a difference at United.
I think if you've got him, stick with him. I think, unfortunately, either maybe his form may not continue against Tottenham, you just don't know, based on Man United's performance. You've got to think about also, there's a blank game week coming in as well for a number of teams, and Manchester United are one of those for game week 31, so he doesn't play that game week. Other than that, though, after that, actually, there's a lot of favourable fixtures for Manchester United. I mean, to be honest, there's about 6 fixtures after that are very favourable and should be winnable for United. So, definitely kind of pounce on him. If you haven't, maybe kind of look at him in game week 32. Otherwise, if you've got him, stick with him.
I think you make a very valid point there, NBD. And lads, I've had a little sneaky listen to the Rambolino that's coming in second half. And I know the topic is going to be of interest to all of us, and what you just mentioned there, NBD, about that game week 31. Just a little spoiler, there might be a question around that. Keep listening, listeners. Before that, I want us to move into the one Klopp, one flop. There is no Sean the John McGinn fanboy this week. So taking away his prized segment of the show, I'm going to go NVD.
I think the flop of the week is between myself and Captain, really. I think, we've had a good game week, I think, over the past 2 weeks, overtaking each other, doing a bit of kind of, hippity-hoppity, and then we've both just crashed out this game week. So, I think we are firmly the flops of the week. The Klopp of the week,
yourself and Captain.
There is another potential flop of the week. Oh, Top of the Pops Nikita could be flop of the week, to be honest, if he doesn't do the business.
Oh, yeah. That's got to be Nikita, isn't it?
He's clearly doing it. Just for his name, he's the Klopp, mate. Brilliant.
You never know, though, mate. He could smash in a hat-trick, in which case he's the Klopp of the week.
Can't see that happening. I can't see that happening. So that's our flop. And I think our Klopp, fellas, you already called the boy out, and not sure if you'd agree with this, but I'm going to put it on the man that a lot of us benched, but he's going to come into a lot of our teams, luckily. It's the Lord Lundstrum, put in a peach of a ball there for Billy Sharp to head in the goal. Billy Sharp couldn't miss it. It was a beautiful cross. The Sheffield United boss, he left Lundstrum out for the last 5 games running, brings him in, plays the 90 minutes, clean sheet and a cross. What more can the boys say to the boss than you need to be playing, mate? Last 3 games, the guy's played. Yeah, he's got a goal and an assist in the last 3, and he's only played 130 minutes across all of them. Surely he's got to start in the next game week.
Yeah, what a way to make your place in the team. He's off the bench the other week, weren't he? Got that goal as well. And he's repaying the faith of FPL managers who've stuck by him. More to come from him, right?
Yeah, I do hope so. So there you have it, listeners. There's our Klopp of the week. We're giving it to Lord Lundstrum, firmly back in the scene. Start listening, Wilder. You need to start playing him every single week. We need those points. And our flop of the week, currently Nikita. Should he turn it on, Nikita will not be our flop. It's between NVD and Captain Russ, both with below average points haul. So before we head into the half time, I mentioned already we've got Rambling from the Dugout second half. If you want to get in touch with us, drop us through an email, leftinthechangingroom@gmail.com, or you can get us on Twitter or Reddit the boys will tell you how to do that. NVD, what's the address?
That's right, yeah, on Reddit at LeftBackFPL, and same handle LeftBackFPL on Reddit as well. Come leave us a comment.
Yeah, please do. Okay, we are off to get another shot of quarantine juice. We'll be back in the second half.
Lovely, jubbly. Way!
Hey!
Hey! Back in the changing room.
Way
indeed. Welcome back, listeners. We are back. We've all washed our hands. We're back in our quarantined room with padding so we don't hurt ourselves and make silly decisions like Nikita. If I ever do anything like that, we've just called it. It's probably the flop of the year. Not only getting Nikita, but captaining Nikita as well. I had a vision, boys. Quarantine-induced
What was your vision?
I was just sitting there and I saw Nikita and he just started singing to me. It was a little lullaby. Yeah.
A lullaby?
It was a beautiful song, mate. Doing my little, finger pointing down, up. I was getting involved in it. Either way, I thought he was going to do it. Oh, what's that?
It's a rambling.
That time it's a Rambolino. Hello, who do we have?
Hey guys, it's Curtis from LA.
Curtis from LA. All right, mate. How are you?
Hey guys, I thought I'd call in. You gave me the number to call, and we had a great surf lesson in LA last week.
We certainly did, listeners. Just to give you guys the inside track here, I knew Curtis was going to be dialing in today. He was our surfing instructor on the weekend down in LA, and he said that we were the most famous people he'd ever taught. So he had Dermot O'Leary, I believe. Curtis, who else was it you taught?
That's right, Dermot, a good friend with Dermot, and lots of others like celebrities, man. And you guys rock.
Excellent. And Curtis, we had a wonderful time surfing with you. One thing that none of us quite wanted to point out was at the time you had a bogey on your head, mate. And we didn't want to quite point it out. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay, mate.
Time, man. You could have told me, though, man. Why didn't you tell me?
I'm sorry, man. I just couldn't. I felt a bit ill, mate. Looking at it.
That's
but Curtis,
cool, man.
You're a big fan, Curtis, of Premier League, you told us, and you wanted to ring in. You got a question for us, my man?
Yeah, guys. So here's the question, right? So I was thinking about Gameweek 31 coming up, and I was thinking, right, okay, we got just a few teams, right? We got 4 games playing. We got Spurs, West Ham, Burnley, Watford, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, and Wolves, Bournemouth. Now, what do I do? Because all the other teams like blanking, man. Are just like freaking me out. It's freaking me out. So what do I do, guys?
Great question, yeah. So Game Week 31, only 8 teams are playing. So it's not this coming game week, but it's the one after. Now, NVD, that does mean you need to be having Game Week 31 in mind. There's a few strategies out there. It's either free hit, get your teams in now, so use your free transfers to try and get them in, but you'll only get 2 free transfers to try and have as close to 11 play. Or wild card. What do you think, mate? Is there anything I've missed? And out of those 3, where would you go?
Yeah, I mean, looking ahead, let's say about between now and Game Week 37, I think there's a bit of a strategy that I'm starting to see and read play out, to be honest. So I think you're right with the free hit for Game Week 31. I think that's sensible. I think for Game Week 34, depending on how you use your transfers in between, let's say Game Week 31 and 34, you could potentially choose to ride that out, and then ultimately kind of towards the latter end of the season, maybe you could use your wild card around Game Week 36. And then, to be honest, I think there's a lot of teams playing double game weeks, double fixtures in Game Week 37. So I would either use your wild card or your bench boost. Well, actually, I'd probably use your bench boost there. So I guess going back to Curtis's original question, I would look for the free hit for Game Week 31, providing you've got a potentially solid team coming back. Obviously, having a look at the fixtures for Game Week 32. Otherwise, use your wild card. But I'm gonna go with free hit.
Helen, what do you think about that? Free hit for 31 if you've still got it, and what if you don't have the free hit?
I kind of disagree with that one, actually. Just I've got more of a feeling. I feel like a lot of people have got their wild card ready to use, right? So I reckon, because we've got obviously this weekend coming up and another transfer before we have to make that decision for game week 31, I would say try and bank on getting as many players, let's say from Liverpool, Wolves, Watford and West Ham and even Spurs, right? Get as many players as you can in your team from now until then, and then use your wild card the week after to set yourself up for the rest of the season. I would prefer to keep my free hit for later on in the season, as MVD was saying. I think game week 37 probably going to have a lot, and especially as we get towards the end of the season, once the FA Cup is decided. Who's playing in that, and then we're going to have a lot of double game weeks. So yeah, I personally would try and not use any cards, just try and load up on those players as much as you can, hoping that you're going to score big, and then that could really set yourself up for the rest of the season while still keeping a lot of your chips in play.
Yeah, I'm actually tempted to agree. Well, not even tempted to, I will agree with you. I think that you've got to almost weigh up what is the best approach here. So have you still got your free hit, actually, Curtis?
I've got all my chips, man. I didn't even realize I was smoking too much weed, and I didn't realize I still got all to you. So I'm looking to really get my lead.
Okay, mate. Yeah. And obviously, listeners, it's legal to smoke weed in California. So Curtis, obviously, I know you don't realise you're doing.
Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I didn't realise.
No, all good. It's all good. We're global, Curtis. We never told you that, mate. So you've still got your free hit. I think you've still got all your chips. I would personally bank that free chip. I think there's a better time to use it. Liverpool hopefully will play well against Palace. It's the week they can win the league. So they can beat Everton, then they go and, they've got Palace. If they could show Palace, a 5-0 thumping and just to put the wrongs right of was it the Stevie G? No, that wasn't the slip, was it? That was when you were 3-0 up against Palace and drew 3-all.
And then we drew, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Crying.
So maybe that wrong. But that's kind of where I'm thinking. I don't think I'd use a wild card. I know Pelosi mentioned that. I think it's too early to use the wild card.
Agree.
So I would try and transfer as many in as you can. Free hit, it will give you a bonus over anyone else because you'll have all those players playing. But when you look at the games as well, Spurs not playing great, as I mentioned. Burnley, Watford, is that can be a lot of goals? I don't know, it could be a tough one. But anyhow, that's what I'm thinking. You go then, Curtis. What do you think, mate? Like either of those suggestions?
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. I'm a lot clearer what I'm going to do now. I have to say, you guys rock. You are great surfers, by the way. You should come back to LA anytime soon, man. Especially Ricky Pellegrini. He's a great paddler. He's a really good paddler.
Oh, what a paddler. Great paddler. Blinding paddler.
Oh, thanks, mate. Oh, yeah, no problem. No problem, guys. See you later. Catch you later, dude.
Cheers, Curtis. Thanks so much, mate. Spread the word for us and see you next time we're there.
Mate, lovely. What a nice bloke.
Excellent. God, he really does like you, doesn't he, fellas?
He definitely had a bogey on his face the whole time, didn't he? That was funny. I'm glad we told him.
Yeah, I had to get it off my chest, mate. I've been having nightmares, Had to come out. Oh, man. I can't believe
it's so weird. You keep having dreams about Curtis and Nikita.
Yeah, he's telling me it's weird. And then this guy keeps on coming in and beating up women. Sorry, not women. Creepers that are creeping on women. Anyhow, I digress, gents. God, I don't know what's happening. This virus has got me, mate. I'm not as free flowing as usual. Apologies, listeners. Let's jump in. Game week 30. Get the show moving, boys. This is what people are here for. This is what they want to hear. Our expert opinions for game week 30. Where are the points? Where are the goals? Where's the assist? Any clean sheet? What players are we all looking at? I think 7 games on Saturday. We start with Watford versus Leicester. What do you think, boys? What's going to happen here?
It's a difficult one. Watford are at home.
Yeah.
So...
Exactly.
It could be difficult for Leicester. I think Watford have turned the form. They did the business. I think they're lucky in their previous game, or rather kind of the game against Liverpool, showing that they've got a lot of grit and determination and a bit of attacking flair as well. Yeah, I think they might do it over Leicester, mainly because I think there's a lot of players that aren't really ticking for Leicester, even though Barnes turned in a good performance and obviously Vardy coming off the bench. So
yeah, do you think Vardy's form is going to change? I mean, we've seen a lot of people bringing him back in already after 2 goals. One was a pen, other was a good shot. But do you think that he's back, or is that just a couple of goals against a poor team?
Yeah, I think Vardy could be back. I think he now going to get those 2 goals behind him. Strikers are confidence players, aren't they? So, he would have blanked for a few weeks, and now Rebecca's let him back out, with a couple of WKDs. I think he'll be back with the swing of things. But going back to Watford, I mean, yeah, I'm really, obviously, as a West Ham fan, really hoping that they don't, but I could see them nicking this. Just at home, they just look so good, and with all that confidence they've got now from the Liverpool game since then, and then just building upon that, I think